Hey everybody, Chiron here, and welcome back to another episode of Banished. Last time we were working on getting some of our stuff optimized. So we were working on our food supply. Our major food supply comes from beef and milk, because we have mainly Frisian cows. So we have a couple of butchers here. I think I did put in a secondary, right? Yeah. So I do have a secondary here. It's maxed out, and it's producing some. Not the most exciting in the world, but it gives some of our out of work laborers something to do. So yeah, so we are going to kind of jump into this. What I want to do is take a look at our food supply and see what we can do about optimizing it. So right now we do have more produced than used as far as the 1 year total, which is good. The thing that I really want to look at is our beef and our milk, so 64,000 and 41,000. I'm actually going to write those down. So 64,000 and 41,000. And we're going to take a look at that kind of as we progress. Essentially what I want to do is make sure that we are converting as much of this material into usable food products as we possibly can. And that means cow butchers turning them into cuttings and sausage, and then the cuttings into corned beef. So what I don't want to see is this number to go up drastically, but I don't want it to drop drastically, because that means that we have either too few or too many butchers, and the same thing goes for the milk. If we have too few or too many dairies, we probably will never have too many dairies, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. So we're gonna just keep an eye on our food situation and just see what we can do about squeezing every single piece of meat out that we can. Like we found out last episode, we turned 10 beef into 13 cuttings and 10 cuttings into 14 corned beef. So essentially 10 turns into about 7 plus a couple extra scraps. We'll call it an even 9. So 10 beef turns into about 19 food products of some sort, either cuttings or corned beef or something. So that's kind of where we're at right now, and we'll see where we end up at the end of our series. We also tore down our hardwood forester, and we replaced it with just a regular foresting lodge. They've got all of their saplings planted. They just need to grow up. It'll take a couple of years before they can start harvesting those, so our lumber situation's not going to go up drastically in the meantime. We do have a little bit of excess fuel, but we just have to distribute that to people. So at this point, we're really just trying to maximize every single ounce of our resources that we have available to us on this relatively small map. Alright. And one other thing that I want to do is continue on with our process of kind of clearing out some materials that we don't need. I did a little bit off camera. I think I spent about 20 minutes going through the traders and just getting new seeds and things like that, just to get rid of a lot of our materials that we didn't need. And we had a ton of tallow, a ton of candles, and yeah, we still have quite a bit of tallow, 1,700 tallow, and we just can't produce candles fast enough. And it doesn't really pay to make a second candle reuse, just because we're not going to use the candles either. So all we would really do is convert them to candles and then potentially sell them for a little bit more. So let's go up to our trading post here. We don't have candles or tallow there. So candles sell for 8, tallow sells for 1. So honestly, it might actually be worth converting them to candles, because that's a pretty big jump from tallow to candles. Yeah, so let's increase our candle maker up to 2, and then let's get rid of our tallow from in here. Tallow. Alright. And whale blubber sells for 1, lamp oil sells for 35. So again, that's something that we could probably convert up pretty easily. We have an excess of laborers that are just doing absolutely nothing. So I think we would need to make another oil press to make lamp oil. looks like your citizen got sick. Just double check, make sure. Yep, so it looks like our hospital is working. One of the previous episodes, I think is like episode 10 or 12, somewhere around there. We had a hospital and a doctor, but it wasn't actually like admitting patients. So it was just kind of weird. Alright, so we do need another, I think it's in food. We need an oil press. There's an oil press. We could probably put it up here, since this is where we get our blubber from. Only we had room for it. This is a pretty large building for not really any reason. It just has that fountain thing there. Where can we put this? We could probably put it kind of up here. Yeah, let's put it right there. And can we make a bridge that goes over anywhere around here? Kind of filled up the shoreline. Let's see if we can put something in this area here. So we're gonna... Actually, we have a lot of stone, so let's go with a stone bridge. And then... Yeah, we're probably not going to be able to... Holy cow, that's wide. What about this one? Nope. What is this? So the sawmill doesn't really operate anymore. So we could probably get rid of the sawmill and just make room for a road, and then we can rebuild the sawmill somewhere else if we need to. So we'll increase priority on that, and then we'll just put a road in there just so that people have an easier time kind of getting back and forth between the fort and this area. Alright, so our beef and milk are about the same as what they were. So it was about 64,000 and 41,000. And this is kind of fluctuating around that. So I think we might be kind of at that kind of break-even point on that. But we shall see. I probably want to overproduce at our blacksmiths just to get them our beef down to kind of a manageable level. Alright, so let's go back into our roads here. We'll do this one. Ah, good. That'll be perfect. And then our red brick road. There we go. Alright, our oil press, we'll do lamp oil. And we'll do 2 people. Is this one maxed out at 1? Flax. How's our flax situation going? Flax, 250. Yeah, we don't have an abundance of flax. So we could probably do... What else do we really have? We have a lot of cotton. We can make cottonseed oil. Herbs, chilies. Yeah, we don't have a whole lot that we can press. What else do we use flax for? Is flax a... Yeah, flax is a linen material. So I don't think we actually want to use that. What are we doing for olives? Onions, olives, 1,000 olives. Yeah, let's do olives. Since olives isn't a material that we're using for the end product for anything, they're just being consumed raw. We might as well turn them into an end product. So, that'll work out. Alright. So, at the same time, I kind of want to have a conversation with everybody that's watching right now and just kind of get your feedback on the series. So, one of the dilemmas I have is we're running out of things that we can actually do here. So we can definitely optimize. I have no problem with that. I'm a numbers guy. I run analytics all day, every day. So optimizing our town is something that I would be interested in. But at the same time, I do get a lot of views on these, and I want to make sure that the series is what you all want to watch. So does everybody enjoy kind of what's happening with this? Just optimizing our food supply and trying to get as many citizens as possible. Is that something you like or prefer, or would you like me to do something else? So I was checking out the forums and taking a look at some of the different updates for the new expansion, and it's kind of up in the air. They don't have a date that they're going to release it quite yet, but it's looking like they're still kind of under development. It is in beta testing. They have it out for bug fixing and things like that. The other issue that we have is the new mod kit for Banished was released. The beta release was on October 30th. There really hasn't been a whole lot of information on the availability of that full launch as well. So we don't have a date on the official mod kit launch for Banished, and then we don't have a confirmed date for the Colonial Charter release. So my question is, would you like me to continue this series and continue to optimize, try and get as many citizens as we can, tear down some buildings we don't need, get our materials, perfect and everything that we need, or would you like me to try another series? So a couple things I could do is I could start out as a challenge map. So we could start out as an Adam and Eve, where you have one male and one female, and you have to build your society on that. We could do a challenge like I start out on an easy map where it gives you one crop, one orchard, and one livestock, but then we have to try and progress without doing any trading post, or something like that, where there's some sort of a stipulation where we can the only homes we can use is a tiny shack, something along those lines. And would that interest anybody, or do you really like this series as is and just kind of continue? So I really have no preference either way. I will, I'll play the game however you want me to play, essentially. And I just want to make sure that everybody's happy with the series and they don't get bored and wander off and things like that. So I really want to make everybody happy. So feel free to leave your comments below, kind of what you want to see on the series, and I'll see what I can do about making it happen. Obviously, I want to make everybody happy, but everybody's going to have different tastes. So, if I don't pick the solution that you want, I definitely apologize. But maybe in a future season or series, I can pick back up where you prefer. So yeah, just leave some comments below what you want to see, and I will do my best and try and get those in place. So let's so go back here. So our beef supply is going down a little bit. Our milk supply is a little bit lower, but it's kind of between seasons right now. So I think we're actually in a good position right now with our dairies and our butchers. And I forgot to look at our production values. So yeah, our production value is kind of teetering right at about breaking even. So that's pretty good. We did have a recent death cycle for old age. So I think our citizen count was at about 700, and we're back down to about 600. You can see that there's quite a few people dying of old age right now. So we don't have an absolute ton of citizens right now, but then once more are born, it'll all kind of flow through. So, all right. How are we doing here? All right, so these are getting a little bit more mature. I don't think they're old enough to harvest yet. We did have 81, but I think they're, yeah. So if you look at this circle, they're able to maintain a normal growth of trees and still chop down enough to kind of keep us afloat. And then where they overlap here, these are all young trees. So I think what's happening is this forester can't harvest any of these yet, so it's just going ham on this little section right here where it can. I think that's what's happening there. So where's our forester? Yeah, so this one did 158, and I think this one did 81 logs just kind of from scavenging in this area. But pretty soon, I think within the next season, they'll start producing logs from this area, so we should be in pretty good shape. All right, and go back here. So we have about 1,700, 2,800, 2,200, 1,600, 2,200, 1,000. So about 2,000 per pasture, and I think there's 8 there. Yeah. These are producing about 800, 1,200, 1,200, 1,700 with 4. And I think I can drop these down to 2 each and still produce that. And I can drop these down to 4 and still produce what they're producing. So we do have quite a few extra herdsmen at our disposal that aren't really benefiting our society right now. So there's a lot of room for optimization and that kind of stuff. Alright, so all these fields are getting picked. There's quite a few crops out there, so let's do that right now. So let's do this. It'll give us a few more laborers that can come around and pick up these items. And I think it'll just make everything a little bit better. Alright. And then herdsman 22. Come on, people. 77 laborers here that you can use to pick up those goods any day now. All right, now they're kind of buzzing around the fields. So not entirely sure what they were doing. We didn't do any kind of a resource clear, so they should have been available to pick up resources. Interesting. Might have to keep an eye on that. Our food supply is still pretty good. I think we were at about 135,000 at the beginning of this episode, and we're still right around that level. All right. And one other thing I did off screen was this. So as you can see, we got a lot of different seed types. I didn't quite get them all. It was very tedious, so I just kind of gave up on it. But yeah, it's we got pretty much everything that we would ever need. You know, we have multiple kinds of lettuce, and you know, there's butter lettuce and oak lettuce and romaine lettuce and Boston lettuce, and so a lot of these materials. It really just increases the variety and kind of realism. It doesn't necessarily give anything, any benefits to. Why happiness is down? Interesting. Who are you? Carver. Oh yeah, we got rid of our statue Carver. One of the last episodes. So let's put you back into the population. Alright, so it looks like we do have quite a bit of storage available to us. Magazines are not even close to getting filled up, and our bank barns are all pretty good. So what we could probably do is... I don't think we need more houses at this point. So we have 200 homes for 276 families. That's pretty good. But we could always do better. Looks like a lot of fields didn't get harvested. That's not good. I think once our laborers build back up past 100, then they'll have plenty of laborers that they can use to pick up crops. I still think this is a better option than having them pick up crops as they go. Just from my personal experience, you know, your mileage may vary, but yeah. All right, and we did get our tool situation figured out. I know that 2 episodes ago we ran out of tools again, but we've got that sorted out with the 3 large blacksmiths doing all steel tools, and we've got our mines in place. We've got plenty of stone with our second small quarry here, which still have to upgrade to the maximum. So we've got plenty of stone coming in. All right. So why don't we start planning out some more homes here? I think I want to continue on with the quayside buildings. I don't necessarily want to keep filling in our land area This land area is just so valuable on a small map like this. So let's do the quayside homes. That's a little cheaty. So there's a home right here. If you move one over, you can put another home and kind of stack them on top of each other. I don't necessarily know if I want to do that. It's allowed by the game, but I don't think it's intended. So we'll stick to the rules, just because that's what we do, as much as possible, at least. Some rules are meant to be broken, but not that one. All right, so we'll do you there. Put one here, and then let's see how many can we squeeze in. Let's see, put one there. Just kind of putting them wherever I can fit them. Can't get one there though, unfortunately. What is something blocking it right there? So let's see if that did it. All right, back to our home here. There we go. These little artifacts are just blocking us. Alright, go back in, see if I got it. I did. Alright. So that should give them a little bit of work to do now. Hopefully it doesn't negatively affect our fields, which looks pretty good. So it's still late autumn. Why is it late autumn and already snowing? That's kind of weird. 21 degrees. I think that's Celsius. So it should not be winter yet. Oh boy. Ah well. I don't explain the game, I just play it. Alright, so we'll wait for those houses to go in. I don't think we could perfectly optimize. We can't build houses fast enough to account for our citizens, because we're probably going to get up to about 350 families pretty soon, and I honestly don't think that we can squeeze 350 houses on this small map. Yeah, we can definitely try. You know, we can use the quayside buildings and try and get as many as we can in this river. But as far as kind of retail space goes, a lot of it is being used, unfortunately, by these forester lodges. So now we could do something like remove the watermill, change the watermill over to a windmill, produce flour with the windmill, but then we're using up. It's a relatively small building. I mean, is it worth using up this amount of space to get 2, maybe 3 more quayside homes? Or would I just put one of these 3-story homes in that same space? So it's kind of up in the air as far as that goes. Decisions. Alright, so it looks like we got all of our fields harvested, so I'm not sure what happened last season, if that was just a glitch or something where they weren't getting flagged to pick up. Alright, so what can we do about our homes? Can we put one here? We could put one there, but it's cutting into that home, and I don't really like that. Yeah, I think we'll leave it as is. We also have to watch our fuel situation as well. to make sure that we don't run into problems there. Have people freezing to death. So let's take a look at our sugar cane. So sugar cane's at 17,000. I think that's dwindling. Actually, nomads. No, we'll pass on the nomads for now. We've got enough trouble kind of keeping up as it is. So, what are we doing here? So 138. So it looks like they are starting to harvest the mature trees that we have over here and replant. So that's good. Stack burner. I just don't think we have enough lumber to really be able to use the stack burner, but we need fuel. But if we run out of logs, let's see. Those are let's see, stack. Is it called a stack burner? No, it's called a burner. Baker, array, Kilnman. I can never remember that. So Kilnsman. We'll try it out. See if the stack burner will get us what we need. I think our fuel furnace is still doing coal, which is good, and we're still using coal for there. So all of our charcoal and our fire bundles should hopefully be used for fuel. Okay. So we'll see how that does. The thing I really don't want is just run out of logs, because when you run out of logs, then you run out of tools, and then you're just shooting yourself in the foot. So your workers work at half productivity, and then you end up getting less materials and blah blah blah. So it's just a vicious cycle. But looks like a lot of those homes that were cold are going away, so we just got a couple more. So everybody's keeping up kind of to the best of their abilities. So let's get rid of more here, so we can do up to 4,000. 500. Actually, we'll do 4235. We'll just max out on that. So we can get rid of a lot of our arrowheads, which we just don't need. And how are we doing on candles and lamp oil? Let's see, candles 4. Okay, so those are all getting distributed out to our farm supplier, I believe. And lamp oil 0. So, and not to worry, we do have our resource depot here with 240 candles and 240 lamp oil. So we do have a reserve that's being held or earmarked for that. We'll get rid of you. And honestly, I think we can probably just get rid of the farm supplier. I don't really see a need to getting more seeds. So let's bulldoze that one. You've been good to us, farm supplier, but it's time to go. I think this is just going to be all food items, so we don't really need to order anything. Alright. And then we'll max out candles, and we'll max out lamp oil. Why don't we do all of our statues as well? Let's see. So it's marble statue. We'll keep our stone statues just in case we want them for our fort. Jade statues, and I think we'll keep our wooden statues as well. For now, at least. Alright, what do we have here? So yeah, this is all food items, so we'll dismiss you. So we're probably still going to take logs as an auto purchase if we ever find one that has vanilla. And I'll probably make a second trading post right next to this one, just so we can kind of double our space. I don't want to use up too much space that we can use for homes, because I'd rather maximize our population than have a couple extra chances of getting some more logs. Our log situation should be fine with 3 forest lodges. And if we need to, we can always squeeze one in up here, just to kind of get a couple more trees going. But I think I'll leave that for now. Alright, so how is our counts doing? So tools are on the rise, which is good. Stored clothes is down 11, which I'm guessing that's just kind of, yeah, it's going up pretty quickly. Let's see, food is definitely good. We are at 135, now we're at 166,000. Logs are okay, fuel definitely needs to be better, and everything else is fine. So our beef, we started out at 64,000, we're at 56,000, so we should be pretty good. It's draining slowly, so I think we have just the right amount of butchers. Our milk was at 41,000, it's at 37,000, so I think it's keeping up just fine with our dairies. Yeah. So how's beef cuts doing? It's by name, beef cuts 81. So we're using up our beef cuts, I think, efficiently. More than likely, most of them, yeah, it's producing like 300 at a time. So for every 10 beef cuts, it's producing 14 of these, which means I think it's using pretty much, probably say half to 2/3 of our beef cuts are being used at our salting house, which I think is probably okay. The other half are being eaten, but they're probably being eaten at the same rate that our beef is, so it's all pretty much evening out. I could potentially put in another salting house if I wanted to. Let's see. Oh, we're out of blubber. That is right. We need to not put our blubber in here. Whale blubber. Oh, we don't. Are we out of whale blubber? Did I get rid of all that? I hope I didn't. Yep, 0 whale blubber. So we'll have to wait for the ship and wharf to bring more supplies in. I don't think we have any chilies either. Nope, no chilies. How's our olive situation? We're at about 1,000 olives. We're at about 200 olives, so that one press is able to keep up with our olive supply. So we don't want to do 2 olive presses. It's old age. Yeah, earlier we were at about 60 and 60. We're at about 50 and 80 right now. So there are plenty being born to replace the ones that are unfortunately passing. So, yeah. We're at about time right now. We're at about 33 minutes, so I think I'm going to call it there. I'm not going to do any off-camera work. At this point, I'm pretty much going to do everything on camera. We'll wait for this trader to come through and see what he's got. So it looks like it's all food products. We'll get rid of all of our candles, 363. Get rid of all of our lamp oil. We can get rid of all of our statues. We have a lot of jade statues. They must all be from this guy down here. Oh, we get 15,000. Holy cow. I don't know if we can actually buy enough. So I'm just going to buy out all of the $1 or 1 trade value cost items. It doesn't really matter if we buy some of the more expensive stuff because we already have enough materials that we're producing to bring up their happiness for food items. It's 2,000. Alright, so you must trade an additional 4776. Let's see, 4776, 240. It's 20-ish. Overpaying by 24. Oop. What did I? Oh, shoot. They're 285 a piece, not 8 a piece. These are 8 a piece. There we go. Oof, statues are definitely pricey. Alright, so trade that out. And then this is, again, going to be all meat, so nothing that we can schedule for purchase. So, yeah. So, like I said, we'll pick it up next time, see what we can do about continuing to optimize. I'll at least do a couple of episodes yet, regardless of what the decision is on the series. So, like I said, please feel free to leave the comments below what you want to see. You know, if you want me to continue the series, awesome. If you want me to start a new series, a new challenge series until 1.6 comes out, I can definitely do that. So, you know, it's going to be majority rule, so whatever everybody wants is what we will do. So, thanks for coming out, everybody, and see you next time.